Hi, my name is Matthew Hodson. I'm the chiropractor at Platinum Chiropractic Erina. So today we're talking about headaches, and we know that around 60% of the population has a headache at least once a month. So it can be a really big problem, and it's often debilitating in a lot of ways. So we're going to go through and give you some ideas of exactly what it is that may be causing your headaches and some tips on what you can do about them. And the most common cause of a headache is a tension headache. It feels like you can get pain up around the temples, or it can feel like a tight band around your head. Typically, it seems to be worse later in the day, depending on the cause, and it's always a tightness. It's not a throbbing type of pain, but it can tend to make you feel quite tired. Sometimes we know that it's actually from people clenching and grinding their teeth, and the muscle that attaches to the top of your jaw, all up around here, becomes very sore. So one of the treatments for this is putting your fingers in a fan shape and just making small circles like this, and that can make a big difference. The other thing is there's a muscle inside the jaw that can often be a trigger for these types of headaches, and to correct that, you stick your thumb inside your mouth, in your cheek, and you can feel the muscle going up and down there, and just rub it up and down as much as you can. So tension headaches typically are worse towards the end of the working week, and they don't really tend to go away with any other sorts of treatments. So in terms of location, we've just covered that a tension headache is often right across the front, or band-like, all around the head. One of the next most common migraine headaches is a migraine, and typically a migraine, because it's due to blood flow, is on one side of the head. So you'll tend to get it on one side or on the other. A cluster type of headache, which is a specific type of migraine headache, will typically be over one eye or on the other eye. And then another thing that can often cause headaches is sinus. And so sinus headaches are through the front here, going down, and then through the front and through there. Now with migraines, there's over 300 different types of migraines that are listed, so it can be very complex. The most common form of a migraine is what's called a common migraine, and it generally will tend to can last anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days. It's often that people will wake up during the night with the start of the symptoms of a migraine, and people will have particular ways of their migraines coming on. So often they'll have nausea before it, and that's because of the change in blood supply going away from their digestive function up to their head, and typically it's a throbbing type of headache. So there's some simple things that you can do to help with migraines. Obviously, avoiding whatever the trigger is for you, whether that's chocolate or bright lights, or some people have problems with nuts or heavy doses of sugar. The other thing is you can try at the start of the headache, when you start to get the pounding feeling in the head, running cold water over your wrists. This brings on what's called a vasovagal response, and it helps to slow down that blood flow. It doesn't always completely stop the headache, but what we do find is that often your headache isn't quite as severe as it may well have been. And the last sort of migraines is cervicogenic migraines. These are migraines that commonly come from the structures at the base of the neck. Around 40 to 50% of migraines have a cervicogenic component, which means that often by addressing the problem in the neck, it may not stop your migraines if it's a common migraine or a cluster migraine, but it may make it less severe in that the cervical spine doesn't start to become a part of the problem. So as a chiropractor, what we look at is how the joints in the base of the neck are functioning, and whether there's any irritation to the sympathetic nerves in the neck that have a lot to do with that vasovagal increase in blood supply. So as a chiropractor, we specialise in diagnosing the exact sort of migraine headache that you have, and then finding you the appropriate avenue to minimise what's happening, so that you can get on with your life and forget about these headaches affecting you every day. So I hope that you found this useful, and make sure you live life well.